Hello everyone, so today we'll be covering our second tutorial from our Playwright series. Today we'll focus on built-in methods which Playwright itself provides us. We have added some categories, we have browser class methods, we have page class methods, and we have locator class methods. Today we'll be just covering the first two since we'll be short of time. I have added three columns: the method, the description of that method, and the key parameters involved against it. So you can refer to this documentation I'll provide in the description. So let's move to VS Code to implement these. That would get us a better picture. So straight away to VS Code. So you can see here I have created a test file uh, in which we have utilized both the categories, the browser class methods and page class methods. So let's start. Initially we are importing test expect. Both are methods from Playwright. Chromium is the object. Over here our test starts its execution. Okay, so for this I have added a detailed description over here. I'll also provide this .ts file to you for reference. So Chromium over here, that is the launcher object. Chromium.launch, that is returning a browser instance, and when we are calling this chrome.launch, it returns an object, and that object is an instance of Playwright's internal browser class. Here we are creating the browser instance, and this instance is basically of the Playwright's internal browser class with methods like .version, is connected, new context. So all of these are methods from that internal browser class. Over here we are checking the version of the browser. Over here we are checking whether the browser is connected or not. Here we are creating a new context. Here we are listing down all the open contexts. Here we are creating a new page and using this page instance to call close method, which would close the page. And finally we are closing the context, and we are also closing the browser. So in order to make sure that you're not getting confused between browser, context and page, I have added the description over here, some comments. So browser, what do we mean by browser? It represents the entire browser application which is running instance of the Chromium, and we are creating it using chromium.launch, which we executed over here. And one browser can have multiple contexts. Okay, now coming to context. Context basically represents an isolated browser session like a separate user profile, and we are creating it using .new context, and each context has its own cookies, cache, and can have multiple pages. So another important point is that one context can have multiple pages. And lastly we have page, which represents a single tab or window within a context, and it is created using .new page, and we interact with the website using the page object. So the operations which we are performing, like clicking on a button, scrolling down, so all those processes, they are being done using the page object. Let's execute it. Okay, so you can see that the browser appeared and all the operations have been performed and it has passed, and you can see that the relevant logs have been also added. The browser version has been captured, the browser is connected or not, it returned true, It created a new browser context since there was only a single browser context being created so far. Hence, when we log that total amount of contexts, that showed us 1. And then we created a new page in the context, then we close the page, we close the context, and we close the browser. We can see the report too. Okay, so yeah, all the methods have been called successfully. Moreover, you can also refer to the page class methods details. I have not covered all, you can see I have not covered everything, but I have picked few from the page class methods, or basically majority were from the browser class methods. In the upcoming tutorial I'll try to cover more methods, and especially the locator class methods. We haven't touched it a bit, and that is much more important since most of the operations being performed involves locators. So yeah, this was all. I hope that we've got a very, at least we've got a basic foundation of the built-in methods. The major goal is to make sure that we utilize the things which Playwright has provided us efficiently, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can use what Playwright has provided us already. So yeah, thank you very much and stay tuned for the next tutorials. Bye.